these sent. I will arrange for one of these to be sent to you. This is my little fact sheet on diabetes. So the 3 simple rules, and I normally write these down, but we haven't got anything to write on today, so you'll have to write them yourself. So 3 rules. Rule number 1 is a plant-based diet. So number 1, plant-based diet. Why do we want a plant-based diet? Remember from the DVD?
It's healthy.
It's healthier, it's got lots of nutrition in there, it's got lots of fibre, and we're getting rid of the
Fats.
animal proteins and high fats that contribute to poor health. So plant-based animal products are high in fat, are hard on the kidneys, and contain cholesterol. Okay, so rule number 2 is no oils. Right, oil is 100% fat. Okay, it's 100% fat. So we're saying no oils. You get natural fats occurring in the nuts, the seeds, the vegetables, the grains that we're eating all the time. We're getting enough fats from those. And they are in the proportion that our body can actually use them. If we're using vegetable oil for frying, that is very high in omega-6. Do we know what omegas are? Essential fatty acids, EFAs. And we see packaging high in omegas, don't we? And we think, oh, that must be healthy. We know what an omega is. It's an essential fatty acid. Our body needs them. And we think, oh, that could be healthy. But what's happening with highly processed foods? We're buying more and more bought foods, biscuits, cakes, ready meals, all very high in vegetable oil of some sort, and they're high in omega-6. Now the good ratio is 1:1, but we're not getting enough omega-3. Omega-3 is the really good essential fatty acid that supports nerve function, i.e. our brain function. It can help protect us against Alzheimer's disease and dementia. One of the biggest fears in America at the moment, people aren't so much worried about developing diabetes, they're more concerned now about developing Alzheimer's. And the reason why we have more incidents of dementia and Alzheimer's, early onset, even late onset, is because of our diet. We might have the genes, in and we might be programmed and might be predisposed to programmed to develop that, but we can actually influence how those cells present themselves. So we can stop them presenting and creating into Alzheimer's by influencing, and one of the biggest things has been shown to be diet and the influence of diet. Diets that are high in trans fats, so anything that's cooked oils are trans fats. Anything homogenized, so something going from a liquid form of oil, which is the pressed oil coming out of the seeds and nuts, where we're getting our vegetable and fruit and nut oils, that's a process. We're not getting all the other elements that are presented in that food. And when they're cooked or solidified, they become trans fats, and this is what the body cannot recognize and doesn't know what to do with it. So what does it do? It stores it. It's taken from the small intestine, it goes through to the liver, which is the waste disposal unit. It's the environmentally controlling what's going on in the body. So it keeps all the toxins, it keeps anything that it says, okay, I've got some vitamin A here, I need that, I'll keep hold of that. I've got some vitamin C, well I can't make or store vitamin C, I've got to just send that out to be used. I've got some vitamin B here. Oh, this is great. You know, we can hang on to this. We need vitamin B. Oh, I've got some iron. Oh, great stuff. I'll send that down to the spleen and to the bones to help with the production of red blood cells. And so, you know, but it's also picking up all the bad stuff. It's picking up the toxins. You know, it's got all these environmental toxins. It's getting excess medication. You know, it's all, you know, I've got some medication here, it's going to suppress this inflammation, it's going to suppress the nervous system to stop the pain transmission, but I've got too much of it. What can I do with it? I can't use it. So it hangs on to it. And then it gets too much, and then it throws it out into all the fat cells in the organs, around the organs. So it's hanging on to it. It says it mustn't go to the rest of the body. Hang on to it. I don't know what to do with it. Then when it gets these trans fats, it says, ugh, what's this? Because the chains that link all these fats together are in a different structure to what they can actually be used. And it's, oh, I don't know what to do with this. I can't actually send it out into the body to be utilised as energy. I can't use it for supporting the nervous system and re-energising, rebuilding the nervous system. So it hangs on to it. It doesn't know how to use these things. So it's so important that we eliminate these cooked oils and trans fats from our diet. Then we move on to number 3. And that is to eat whole foods that are low glycemic. So whole foods, what do we mean when we say a whole food? Is that a whole food?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Some spinach, is that a whole food?
Yeah.
Yeah? How about, what can I show you? If you think about a ready meal, is that going to be a whole food?
No.
Right, so what's the difference?
The other one is processed.
It's been processed.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, so we want, whole foods usually mean it's unrefined, it hasn't been processed. Would you say olive oil?
Yeah.
This is extra virgin olive oil.
Process.
Processed.
Yeah.
What is the unprocessed whole form of olive oil?
The olive.
The olives, the whole seed, the whole fruit. So it's unprocessed. So oil is a processed product. So we're looking at whole foods, whole grains, fruit, vegetables. They're not being messed around with. So if you start refining rice, I'm going to cook some rice. All rice starts as brown rice, and I've got some brown rice here today for you to taste. All white rice is highly refined rice, so that you're left with the inside white kernel. So instead of having the husk, which contains all the fibre and contains all the vitamins and minerals, they polish all that off so that you're left with this very white centerpiece. I saw very briefly, and I can't remember, it was on the food and drink programme last week, and they had a drink, an alcoholic drink, made from an even higher processed, it's the tiny centre of a rice grain, and it's the tiny, tiny piece that they make this drink from, and that's what gave it its high value and exclusive taste. So really we need to be looking for brown rice, brown grains, brown wheat products, so brown flour, brown pastas, where it's got whole wheat. So don't just say brown. This is brown rice and it's got the outer husks there. So the benefit of having that fibre in the diet is many, many times over. If you think that the liver is filtering all those toxins, excess medications, excess cholesterol, carcinogens, the things that causes cancers, all the things we don't want to be circulating around the body, it directs that back into the gut to be eliminated. If we do not have enough fibre in our diet, in the gut, what's going to happen? Well, firstly, you're going to get a very clogged up gut, the gastrointestinal system. And then that can also affect the bacterial flora balance in the body. So it's going to upset what's going on and give instead of having good flora, we're going to have bad bacteria taking over, and that then gives an ideal growing environment for inflammation and more bacteria to be growing. So it cleanses the gut. But the other thing is, all those toxins and excess cholesterols and carcinogens and everything we don't want, it attaches to the fibre and is carried through and eliminated from the body. If we don't have that fibre in our diet, what happens is that stuff is reabsorbed, it goes back through the circulation, back through the liver, and it's going in this hepatic, it's called the hepatic loop, and it's going back to the liver to be refiltered, reabsorbed into the gut, nothing to attach to, so it's reabsorbed again, and it's the longer those harmful things are in our body, the more chance they have to cause damage. To stop our normal cells reproducing and becoming, a reproduction of what they should be, it can change. It can change the actual DNA and change how that cell reproduces itself, or even stop it reproducing. So that's the aging process. It's the what is making us ill process. Okay, so it is important to have fibre in the diet. And anybody concerned about losing weight, by just putting 14 grams of fibre into our diet. And what does 14 grams of fibre look like? Well, it's half a can of beans. I've got a can there on the back, I'll hold it up in a second. Half a can of pulses, beans, peas, lentils. So you see my cup measure is about half the size of that can. Yeah? See, this is where 2 is better than 1. Working in partnership. And just by adding that, half a can can reduce your calorific intake by 10%. So filling up on fibre, and you're going to be helping cleanse your system, reduce inflammation, and reduce all the toxins and carcinogens. Okay, so let's go through then the rest of the food that we've got here cooking. Any questions from that?
And I have a question. Even the olive oil.
Yes?
If it is used for salad, totally still carb, no oil.
I sometimes do make a dressing with a drop of oil, but it's got to be extra virgin, cold pressed. So always look for cold pressed. If it's mechanically extracted, it's got environmental contaminations in there. So extra virgin means it's the first pressing where you're going to get the beneficial minerals and essential fatty acids in there. And just use a small amount. I've got this today just to show you how to make hummus, which is normally made with lots of olive oil. I'm just using a tiny bit, and I don't sometimes even use olive oil in my hummus. I just use the liquor from the can of peas, and I then chop some olives to give the flavour. This is all about flavour at the end of the day.
How about the food that is pasta with liquid? Is it processed as well?
I can't hear your question.
For example, you make a soup and you make it through the liquid.
Yes. Yep, you can do that. That's really, to get the thickness.
Yeah.
I don't ever add oil to anything that's going to get hot. Because they say the Mediterranean diet, use olive oil instead of vegetable oil. This has got high and saturated fats. There's some good things in there as well as the bad things. But by heating it, it then destroys even those good bits that's in there. So I never use oil to heat it. It's only used cold, and I get the best quality that I can afford.